Now, here's a common thing I should point out that many people don't do. Sometimes they don't add the whites of the eyes. Instead, they just leave that as the background. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about that, you notice how the whole background is whites. Well, same with her eyes. Her eyes don't have any shade of color. So when I turn up the background layer, she goes transparent. And actually, if you look a little carefully, sometimes if you don't have solid color, you'll see a little bit of transparency happening along the colors, especially right there. That's not important for now, but for the eyes, you definitely want it, because suppose I want to color the background yellow. Yeah. Here's a quick fix for that. Along the background layer, use your marquee tool. Now, we want the white. Because we already have a white background, if you haven't done a background already, good. Here's the trick. Select it. And now make another selection. I have now specifically selected, okay, by holding Alt, I click on the eye in the layer. Now I'm isolating that. Oh, that is the shading I've done for the eyes. But that's okay. That's what we want. We want to keep everything that's on this layer. Now I am selecting the white of the background layer. So I click on this. Click back so I can see everything. Now she has this odd thing of glasses going on here. So, remember the trick before is Control-Shift-J. And what that did was make the selection its own layer. We will call this Eye Whites. Eye Whites. That's the plan. Why? Put this above the eyes. Oop. And, well, that's their confirmation. As you can see, it did this effect. Actually put that below coloring. Doesn't matter where it is as long as it's below the eyes. So here's how we can tell it worked. Go back to the background layer, turn it off. Now it's back to normal. Okay, that's my fastest way to do it. So hold Alt, click on the eye on the background layer, and there you go. The two whites we used are now gone in its own layer. So that solves that. Which is good, because exactly why do I want to do that? Control, select everything, and let's say I want the layer to be back to yellow. Her eyes are not affected this time. Maybe a little bit of the jewel here is affected, but that's okay. That actually makes an interesting effect, but I don't want to go for yellow. Let's go for a different color. What would complement with this girl very well? Let's make that same shade of blue we did from before. Let's add a nice little paintbrush effect to her. So for the background, the thing about the background is its own layer. That's the default background Photoshop gives you. Alright, well, maybe I can apply it now. Remember like I was saying about making a nice paintbrushy effect? Alright, to do this effectively, let's have the other dynamics set to on. Opacity jitter, pen pressure. Flow jitter, pen pressure. Shape dynamics on. Size jitter, on pen pressure. This is the effect you want down here. I will show you why in a few. Okay, we're on the background layer, so let's put the flow at the top of the screen on your brush. Let's put the flow at 25%. The flow pretty much makes it so that for every time you do this, it doesn't come out too heavy. It's flow and opacity. Put them both at 25%. Now I'm pushing on the tablet as hard as I can. That is your first color. Do it again. Do it again. And one more time. See how it gets a little bit darker? It's as though we're using the dodge tool or burn tool. That's how I mimic paintbrushing effect. Now, with that texture brush we have, that makes it all the better. Because if you did this on solid, it would just simply overwrite. It would simply go over the brush, okay? Opacity and flow is back to 100%. See? It doesn't really seem to matter. Oh, and that's because I have it on this. If I turn this off, hold on, let's remove that. Ooh, actually, blah. Go back, go back, go back, back. Well, maybe for these intents and purposes, we should have its own layer. Maybe, maybe not. Yeah. Okay. See, if I do that, it doesn't seem to matter. You can just pretty much make the edges look like that. So that's not what we want to achieve. Let's turn that back on for color dynamics, and we'll put the flow back at 25. Alright, we'll have 25 here, and 25 here, and let's see. Let's make it simple. Let's put the brush at 80, and for a simple effect, well, it's bigger than that. Let's put the brush at 200. We're also assuming you have a pretty good computer that won't mind what you do to it. Okay. Let's actually make the opacity at 60. Nope, make it 70. 70, I think. Okay. So another trick you can do with the art history tool, art brush tool. History tool has a lot of power, especially in CS3 now. Alright, oops, sorry. Let's see. Okay, now let's smooth out the skin. Let's go back to the coloring. Unlock it. Now, this hard edge effect here, there's several ways you can deal with that. We could go to the smudge tool and smudge it out. Could smudge it out like this. We'll put it at 100 maybe. Touch on it gently on the edges like this. And just kind of bristle back and forth. Actually, I'm lowering it back down to 80. Okay, that's going to happen here. So you just gently smudge that back forward. Okay, so it doesn't look so blocky. Okay, that looks cool. Not bad. Maybe you want to do that to the rest of the skin, just so it appears softer. This gives your edges more softer tones, so it doesn't look so cel shaded, unless that's what you're going for. Okay, that looks good so far. What else can I do to it? Save it. Let's see. Oh. Signatures. Why not? We always add one. I call it sign. Put the color on black. And I put it on a 2. Like that. Oop. If you're submitting for DeviantArt or whatnot, and you're wanting to put your own little signature, I think this is a good idea. You should do it like this. I have brushes, okay. Maybe put it at 3. What do we got there? Sign. Put the sign at the very, very top of the layer. So it shows up better. Okay. And a border. Yeah, we'll do a striking border on it. I have a border set up already, so I have it set to whenever I press F4, the border is created automatically for me. We'll talk about making your own macro commands so you can automate Photoshop for you a little bit better. Alright, and I always have styles as a tab enabled, so let's tinker around and see. Ooh, that looks pretty good already. That looks cool. And that pretty much concludes a basic tutorial of me coloring with the Bamboo Fun, and I hope you enjoyed it. Save it, and take care.